Hello, my name is Seth Turner. I'm the Director of IT for the College of Engineering, and today I'd like to talk to you about computing resources within the college. So the main topic today is going to be how to access engineering applications through a platform called AppsAnywhere. But before we can do that, we'll need to make sure that you have some services set up that will provide access to AppsAnywhere and your files, whether you're on or off campus. So we'll cover things like getting started with Tech at UD, which will include setting up Wi-Fi, your Zoom account, access to Canvas. We'll talk about how to set up two-factor authentication, how to set up your virtual private network connection for when you're connecting from off campus, where to save your files by setting up Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, how you access your files on college resources using Kumo, and where to access computing resources when you're on campus, things like computer labs, student common computing areas, and lastly, how to get help from IT, both central IT and the college engineering IT. Tech at UD is a one-stop portal for everything you need to know about technology at the university. It'll cover things like Wi-Fi, Zoom, Canvas, and a whole lot more. The URL is at the bottom of the page, so please visit the site if you haven't done so already. There's a ton of information there. Today, specifically, I'd like to go over two-factor and multi-factor authentication, virtual private networking, Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive, all of which can be found at Tech at UD. Two-factor authentication and multi-factor authentication are added levels of security that you'll use in combination with your UD username and password. Two-factor authentication is a component of UD's Central Authentication Service, or CAS. Most UD resources use 2FA. Multi-factor authentication is a component of Microsoft Office 365, and it's used exclusively for access to Microsoft resources on campus. Pro tip, if you use Microsoft Authenticator, which is an app for iOS and Android, you'll get push notifications anytime you need to use MFA from Microsoft, which will allow you to just click approve or deny on the request. It will also allow you to add 2FA for CAS, which is a number that's generated every 30 seconds that you'll use to type in. So Microsoft's Authenticator will save you a little bit of time. The link below will take you to the page where you can get more information and set up your two-factor and multi-factor authentication. Many computing resources at the university are restricted to just the campus network. A virtual private network will allow you to connect to the campus network remotely and access those resources. Almost all of the college resources that you'll be using are restricted by VPN connection when you're off campus. So now that you've got your 2FA set up, you can go to the link below, use the instructions to download and install the Palo Alto VPN client, and then when you're off campus, you'll use that software to connect to the campus network. It'll prompt you for your UDLNet credentials as well as your 2FA, and once you get connected, you'll have access to college resources while you're off campus. The University of Delaware is both a Google campus and a Microsoft campus, which means you'll have access to store your files on either Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive. Regardless of which platform you choose, you'll be able to access those resources from the College of Engineering Computing Labs and AppsAnywhere, which we'll talk about in just a minute. You can use the link below to get more information about how to set up those two resources. One of the tools we use in the College of Engineering is a piece of software called Kumo. Kumo is a cloud storage connector. It's a piece of software that we have installed on all of our physical computing labs and our virtual computing resources that provides access to your files on Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive. But you have to set it up first. Using the link below will take you to a page where you can set up your Kumo account. And let me show you what that looks like. To set up your Kumo account, go to kumo.udel.edu, click the login button, and use your UDELnet credentials. Then select the cloud storage service you'd like to use, Google Drive or OneDrive. You're able to use both if you'd like. So now let's talk about how you'll access the applications you'll need to do your coursework. The College of Engineering uses a platform called AppsAnywhere. It's a web-based software portal similar to an app store that enables you to access software on university-owned and personally owned computers with a single mouse click. The college uses AppsAnywhere to deliver university-licensed specialty software to faculty, staff, and students both on and off campus. It's available on all platforms, Windows 10, Mac OS, Chrome OS, and Linux, and the URL's below. Things to know about AppsAnywhere. AppsAnywhere is only available for College of Engineering students and students taking College of Engineering courses. Currently, the College of Engineering is the only college at the university that uses the AppsAnywhere platform. All our applications are safe to use. All the software in AppsAnywhere is managed by the College of Engineering IT team. These are the same software packages that we install in our computing labs. If you're off campus, you have to have a virtual private network connection to the campus network for AppsAnywhere to work. And lastly, but probably most importantly, is that your experience in using AppsAnywhere is going to be slightly different depending on the platform you're using. Windows users will have applications locally installed on their computer through AppsAnywhere, where Mac, Chrome, and Linux users will use AppsAnywhere to make a connection to one of our computing labs and run the software there. If you're using Windows, applications will install to and run on your computer via cloud paging. This is going to be the best option for performance. Many engineering applications are very demanding of hardware. So if your computer's up to the task, your experience is going to be great. If not, then stay tuned. The solution we have for Mac, Linux, and Chrome users will work for you as well. This option is only available on Windows. So first, let's take a look at the experience of a Windows user. We're going to go to appsanywhere.engr.udel.edu and log in with our UDELnet credentials. Remember, if you're off campus, you have to establish a VPN connection first, or you won't be able to access this resource. Once you've logged in, you'll be taken to the AppsAnywhere portal page. Here you can see all of our applications illustrated as tiles. If I mouse over a tile, like I've done over here on EduPack, you'll notice that I have two choices. I can either launch the application via cloud paging, or I can get more information about the application. Once I click Launch, AppsAnywhere will install the cloud paging player if you don't have it already, and then launch the cloud paging player and begin to download and launch your application. Later, you can use the cloud paging player to remove an application if you'd like to do so. Now let's take a look at the experience that Mac, Chrome, and Linux users would have, or Windows users whose hardware isn't quite up to the task of running engineering software on their own devices. You will use AppsAnywhere to connect directly to one of our eCalc lab computers. This is a full desktop experience, and once you're connected, you can use the full suite of engineering applications as if you were sitting in the lab. All of our lab computers use AppsAnywhere, so from that point on, it's the same experience that I just demonstrated. This option is available on all platforms. Just like before, we're going to start on the login screen and use our UDELnet credentials. Again, if you're off campus, please connect to the campus network with the VPN. Otherwise, you won't be able to access this resource. Once you land on the AppsAnywhere portal, you'll notice that things look quite a bit different for Mac, Chrome, and Linux users. For Windows users, to find this icon quickly, you can click on the Desktop tab at the top. These tabs at the top are filters, allowing you to quickly find applications that you need. If you hover over the Remote eCalc tile, you'll notice that you can click Launch or the down arrow on the right and expose Launch in Browser. Launch is the default behavior, and it will launch the Parallels client. This will provide the best experience, but if you have any trouble, you can always click Launch in Browser and connect to the remote computer using just a browser. Once you click, it'll launch the AppsAnywhere client, which will in turn launch the Parallels client. Or if you haven't used it already, install it automatically for you. Then it'll launch your remote connection to one of our lab computers, where you'll be able to use AppsAnywhere to access all the software in our software library. Remember how we set up Kumo earlier? Now that we're remotely connected to one of our computing labs, you can see that Kumo has automatically mapped a drive to OneDrive and Google Drive so that we have easy access to our cloud storage. One of the other options you'll see when you hover over an application tile in AppsAnywhere is vendor download. This will take you to the vendor's webpage where you can manually download and install the application on your computer. This option is available when the software is provided directly to students for free. Here's a list of student computing resources on campus. The College of Engineering IT Service Desk in green is located at the lower level of Hulley and Hall. If you're having any problems using AppsAnywhere, please stop by so we can give you a hand. College computing resources are in red. We have eCalc labs in Spencer, Colburn, and Pearson, as well as student common use computing areas in Spencer Lab, 131 The Hive, and second and third floor lounges. Additionally, we have a laptop loaner program with Morris Library exclusively for College of Engineering students. These are high-performance laptops that run College of Engineering applications with ease. And lastly, in purple, are the university computer labs in Smith and McDowell. They also have access to AppsAnywhere and can run our applications. To check the availability of any of the resources we just talked about, you can go to this website and it'll show you our 3 eCalc computer labs in Colburn, Pearson, and Spencer, when the classes are scheduled and whether or not the rooms are available. If the room is available, it'll show you how many computers are available for use. This page also shows the common use spaces and the second and third floor Spencer Lab, as well as 131 Spencer called the Hive. And lastly, you can use the link at the bottom of the page to check the availability of the loaner laptops available in Morris Library. So we're often asked about student computer recommendations. On our website, we've put a section together for recommendations based on the department or program you're in. Depending on the department or program, the recommendation can be very different. So make sure to check the website and look for your specific department or program for the recommendation that's right for you. So if you have any questions or you're having any problems using or connecting to AppsAnywhere, or if an application isn't working correctly, please reach out to us. You can do that by visiting the website, emailing us, calling us, or just stopping by our office in Hulley and Hall. We'll be happy to give you a hand.